Hey guys, Joe here, and here we are for the Roy matchup guide / analysis. In this video I'm going to be talking about the pros of Roy, the cons of Roy, who he has an advantage versus, who he has a disadvantage versus, and who I think he has an equal matchup versus. I'll just be talking a little bit about Roy in general. With all that said, let's get this started. So let's get started off by talking about the pros of Roy. Now, the first one is that he does have pretty quick and pretty strong aerials. A lot of his aerials do have the ability to kill, mainly his forward air and his back air, and somewhat his down air. And also, he does have very quick aerials, mainly being his forward air, back air, neutral air, and up air. He has a lot of really quick aerials, and they do combo into each other pretty well. Mostly, they do just kill the enemies, which is pretty dang strong. Only upper doesn't really kill. Now, the second thing is that he also does have a huge amount of string / combos. Now, these combos don't work the entire game, and these strings, but, you know, they do at least fine, and a lot of these, as the next point shows out, a lot of these come from throws. Pretty much what you can do is you can go forward throw, neutral air, and then you can go into jab or forward tilt, or something like that, or you can go down throw into an up B, you can go down throw into jab and to try to re-grab. There's a lot of different combos you can do, and there's a lot of combos you can do off of your throw game, which is pretty dang strong. The fourth thing is that you can also space pretty well. Even though a lot of people say that, you know, Roy can't space very well, he can actually space pretty decently. Mainly with your neutral air and with your down tilt. You can just use both those moves. It'll keep the enemy out quite easily until they do jump. But if they jump, then of course you can't stop them with something like a forward air. And also you can space them out very easily with a side B. I don't see way too many Roys doing this, but if you press side B after a neutral air, you can actually stop a lot of approaches, which is pretty nice. And the next thing is that you do have very early killing tilts. So many characters in this game really don't have any tilts that kill at all. But your up tilt and your side tilt both kill pretty early, so that's really nice. The sixth thing is that you do have a super armor recovery, at least for the first little part of it. When you use your up B, you cannot be murdered, so that's pretty dang awesome. Seventh thing is that he does also have very hefty and very strong smash attacks. His up smash kills pretty early, his down smash kills very early, and of course his side smash comes out very fast and kills extremely early, like 50 or 60% or even less on lightweights. It's really ridiculous, but it's very strong. The eighth thing is that he's also just in general a very quick fighter. He's a lot of run speed, and he also has a lot of air speed, so you can go around on the ground, go around in the air, and space pretty darn well, and also go in pretty well. Now, the ninth thing is that he also does have probably the best punish game in the entire game, in my opinion. Mostly this is just coming off of the fact that his side smash does come out very fast, so it's very easy to punish people, and his side smash does kill extremely early, so if the opponent does miss one even mediocrely long attack, like they just miss something that has a mediocre amount of lag, you'll be able to hit them with that and get a really early kill. And the final thing is that your neutral B has almost no lag, so you can actually kind of just throw that out along with your spacing and your side Bs and stuff like that. Use a neutral B, even if it's somewhat charged, use a neutral B, and then immediately go to a side smash, immediately go to a forward tilt, into a jab. You can do a lot of really cool stuff with neutral B. I just don't really see people doing it way too much, but it is very strong. But with these pros, there come some cons, and the first one is that you do have a very gimbal recovery. Now, your recovery doesn't go way too far in the first place. It does have a bit of that really good armor, but at the same time, if the opponent attacks you on like the second half of it, you're pretty much gonna die, and it is a little bit slow, so it's not the best. It's decent, but it is pretty dang gimpable. Second thing is that, of course, your combos really aren't way too reliable, and they really vary by percentages, which really makes it kind of hard to play Roy and makes him a really weird character to play. Third thing is that you also do need a ton of reads in order to get a lot of your combos. You have to read what way they're going to DI, you have to read if they're going to air dodge, all these different things, which makes it really hard, and also you have to read in order to get a really early kill with your side smash or with your tilts. And the fourth thing is that you also don't have a get off move. That means that if somebody grabs you and starts to combo you, there's nothing you can really do about it. You can try to go for your up B, but it does have a little bit of startup, so it's really not the best get off move. The fifth thing is that also his up air doesn't really kill. Now, this isn't the worst thing in the world because it does combo pretty easily, but it's a little bit annoying because sometimes you'll go up tilt, it won't quite kill, then you'll try to kill them with an up air, and then that won't kill, and it's quite annoying that your up air does not kill. The next thing is also that you can't really combo at all at higher percent. If you go for a neutral air, it'll hit them too far, down tilt will hit them too far, all your throws will hit them a little bit too far. You just really can't combo way too well at higher percent. At least you do have a kill throw though. And the seventh thing is that you really do have to be close up and personal in order to get a kill. But at the same time, you also want to space with the neutral air, with your down tilt, with your side B, with all these different moves. So it makes it really hard to know if you're going to go in, if you're going to go out. But you do have to be somewhat close, but at the same time be somewhat far. So it makes it really hard to play him. So with all this said, let's talk about who I feel like he does have an advantage versus and a disadvantage versus. Of course, this is all in my opinion, but let's get straight to this. So the first one is I feel like he does have a pretty big advantage versus the people that are very close range or just melee ranged enemies. Now, the reason for this is because first off, you can space them pretty well with your neutral air, with your down tilt, side B, all that kind of stuff. But also, if they get in close and if they don't have a disjointed hitbox, then you can just throw out one of your attacks and there's not much they can do about it. They're going to have to be hit by this, or they're going to have to shield it, and then you can go for a grab right after, really giving you a big advantage. The second thing is that you also just do well in general against people without disjointed hitboxes, because of course you do have a sword, so you can stop people that don't have that disjointed sword like you. The third thing is you also do very well versus slower attacks, because because, of course, slower attacks mean that they're a little bit more punishable, which means that you can get that nice side smash on them, or neutral B, or any of your other attacks that do a lot of damage, or at least kill very early. Now, the fourth thing is that you also do very well versus people that you can easily space. If the opponent doesn't really have a good approach move, then you can easily keep them far away, once again with the neutral air and with your side B. Now, the fifth thing is also you do very well versus very lightweight characters, because the simple fact that your up tilt, your side tilt, and your side smash are very early kill moves, and they'll die ridiculously early, really giving you a big advantage in all of those matchups. You have way too many kill moves, it makes it really hard for them to live. Another thing is that you also do very well versus people that don't have a get off me move. Now, while you don't have a get off me move, that's pretty bad, but if the opponent doesn't have a get off me move, it means you'll be able to combo them quite well with all your combos. Well, if they do have a get off me move, they can usually hit you and stop a lot of your combos. And the final group of people I feel like you really do have a good advantage versus are those people that do happen to have really huge hitboxes, either be it very tall or very wide, because it means that the inside of your sword is a lot more likely to hit them, and that means you'll probably get a kill a lot earlier, and also that you will be able to get that good extra damage by hitting on the inside of your sword. With all this said, let's talk about the disadvantages of Roy, and the first one is that he doesn't do way too well versus campers. Now, the main reason for this is because it does force Roy into the approaching position, and Roy approaching really doesn't do way too well. You can try to approach with the neutral air, and that really doesn't put the opponent into enough shield stun to do much. You can also try to approach with the forward air, but you have a lot of lag with that move, or you could finally try to approach just by running and getting a grab, but of course, they can just hit you with any move of the arsenal and stop you, so it really is hard for you to approach, and you kind of forced to approach because, of course, they can camp you with all their far range moves, so it does become a very hard situation as a Roy player. You're going to have to take a lot of damage in order to get in, and you have to hope that they don't have a get off move, or else it can be a problem to get in over and over again. Now, the second thing is also you don't do way too well against low lag enemies, or just safe enemies in general. If the enemy doesn't really have a lot of lag moves, they just have a lot of, very easy to use moves that just don't really have much of a window to be punished, then it does become a big problem, because you are kind of a punish-based character. You want to wait for the opponent to do something, and then you'll attack yourself, you'll do a lot more damage, you'll do a better combo, or you'll just kill them very early. But if they don't really have anything that can be punished way too well, it does become a big problem for you, because that's just kind of your playstyle in general. Now, the fourth thing is that you also don't do way too great against people that are just great at gimping, mainly for the fact that, once again, your up B isn't way too strong, so if the opponent just hits you a few times off the cliff, you're kind of dead, and that really sucks as Roy. Now, the fifth thing is also that you can't do way too well against people that do outspace you very, very easily. This does become a huge problem for Roy, because if you get outspaced, then you really can't go in, you can't really try to space them at all. You just kind of get kept out, and that's a really big problem. It's very similar to the projectile thing. In that case, of course, you'll probably have to take a little bit of damage, or you just have to be very good at shielding the opponent's attack, and you'll have to try to get in, but it is a little bit harder for him. Now, the sixth thing is that he also doesn't do way too well in general against other disjointed hitboxes, because a lot of the other disjointed hitboxes do a lot of damage on the edge and apply a lot of shield stun on the edge, but yours doesn't, so they'll be able to hit you from far away, stop you, while you really do have to get close up and personal in order to get that shield stun on your opponent and be able to do a lot of damage to your opponent. And the final thing is that you don't do way too well versus people that are very combo based, mainly because you're pretty tall and you don't have a get off me move, so they can just hit you over and over again, and there's not much you can do about it. Finally, everybody else that I didn't talk about previously is here, of course, in the even matchup section. Now with Roy, I feel like he does have some really great things about him that make him a really good character, such as his punish game, his really decent spacing, and all these other things about him, but at the same time, he really isn't the best at everything, and this does allow him to have a lot of even matchups. It lets him be able to, kind of go 50-50 against a lot of these people, and if you are a good Roy player, if you get a lot of reads, you're probably going to win most of these matchups, but at the same time, if you aren't playing at the best of your game, you might lose some of them, so I feel like in general, they're pretty even. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did enjoy the video, and if you learned anything too, make sure to press that like button, and comment down below who you'd like to see for the next video. In a future video, I will be doing another straw poll, but for now, I just want to do a little bit of that commenting hype. Make sure to press the subscribe button, and tell me any of your opinions on any of these matchups. Thank you guys for watching, though, and I'll be seeing you all next time.